Good morning, are you with us, sir?
Good morning. So we're waiting for Rajesh Binivalaji to join. No?
Yes, sir.
So we have another 4 minutes. So we'll join. So we're waiting for Rajesh Binivalaji to join. So to Rajesh Binivalaji to join. Hello, Kosik. Hello. Rajesh, as I was joining within 1 or 2 minutes. So,
Okay, sir.
Dr. Rajesh Vinivalaji will be joining very soon. So, within 1 or 2 minutes. So, let's wait. He is expert speaker for today. Hello, namaste, Rajesh ji. Hello, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, Dr. Rajesh Biniwal, sir.
So, please unmute yourself, Rajesh ji.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. So, we can start. So,
Yeah.
so welcome to fourth day of the FDP workshop. So today again lecturer Rajesh Piniwalaji will talk about novelty in research, and most content will be additional thinking beyond prevailing methods, cross-disciplinary research, newer method, how to design, and many more things. So let's welcome again Dr. Rajesh Piniwalaji, and we'll learn a lot of things from him today. So hand over to Rajesh Piniwalaji.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was just trying to upload the presentation. So can you allow me to share?
Yes, sir, you are the presenter now.
Now, yes. Correct. Just a moment. Okay. Let's try to share. Yeah, my screen is visible.
Yet to come. So yeah, it can.
It came. Yeah. Now should be blank one, and then
And now it is blank one.
now there is one circle appearing, a concentric circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Thank you very much, Aryabhattaji. This is the second day on which I am speaking. Of course, this is, I think, fifth day.
It's fourth day.
Fourth.
Today.
Okay.
Fourth.
Okay. So today I'm going to cover two things. One is how to go beyond whatever the normal thinking is, and second is we will be developing by together. We will developing some ideas in the research, how to go ahead with how to develop those ideas that we will explain. So that is flowering of idea. First, I will speak on how do we go ahead with uh, out of the box thinking, and how the newer methods can be used than the conventional method in your field. So uh, I'm going to take this into bit of a chemical engineering flavor, because that's what the research I was doing for past several years. And this research, bear with me for chemical engineering in, details in this. But nevertheless, the idea would be clear that what exactly would like to find out and how we want it to be different than others. Okay. Now, this is the circle which you are seeing is something which, again, for the chemical engineers, and this says few things like the inner circle. Just take a pointer. Yeah, the inner circle, which is there, is the role of an engineer, particularly chemical engineer, but that can be true for anybody. Like for example, R&D, then commercial plus R&D, technical support, leadership at all levels. These are the roles which are there. Then what these roles actually do is they do certain functions. What they find out is, like for example, R&D is for to create a new product or new processes, and similarly is for other aspects. And say for example, what is the outcome? The outcome is in the last one, which is to create a new compound or a new active pharmaceutical ingredient. This could be a chemical engineering process or a journey of a chemical engineer. His role is R&D. He is talking about creating a new product, particularly new molecules, and then actually finding out or creating a new active pharmaceutical ingredient. So this is how the people think. But this journey, to cross this journey, there are several hurdles, and these hurdles need to be explained. First of all, many a times what is called is, people say that it is market who will drive it. Market will demand. Market will demand. Customer will demand what kind of products they need, and therefore it's a mostly market-driven research that people think. But that's not exactly true, because there is a very famous uh, quote by Henry Ford. Is visible to you? Yeah, I can. So when the Henry Ford went for a IC engine and the motor car, he thought that if he would have asked in the market what people need, so probably people would have said a faster horse. They would have not thought of something like a car at that point of time. Okay, so this is something which market cannot drive. Actually, market has got limitations of thinking in the given set of technologies at that point of time. They cannot think beyond it, and therefore a faster horse would have been demanded by the people instead of a car. Of course, today also, if you want, you will say a better car. We'll have to think beyond that. Better car. Why we need a car basically? So this is what. And the second is like another aspect of it is Thomas. This is very famous from Thomas Edison. He was failed in one of many of his experiments, and then only he got a success. So he said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that don't work." Okay, that what is the meaning of this is last time also we have seen no research data is waste, and you can just use it for a different application than the plan than it was planned to use when the research was initiated. So keeping in this mind, we will go into the details. Now, when we talk about the chemical engineering principles, and particularly when we start working and the research in the chemical engineering, actually we have to be get supported by upstream by chemistry, because there are a lot of chemistry principles which actually are very important to us, and downstream is the chemical technology. Unless these two are these cycles, this is there is an interdependency on this chemistry, chemical engineering, and chemical technology. This analogy can be drawn for any other what do you say field, that they need to have certain principles. Say for example, mechanical engineering. If I put over here as a mechanical engineering, then mechanical engineering do require some inputs from the physics, and unless the physics inputs are there, it cannot be converted. And then probably industrial engineering would be something which is more towards, or something like automations, robotics. This could be the downstream phenomena of a mechanical engineering research. So such kind of things which we feel that there has to be some kind of connectivity, some interdependency, and that we must know. And how do I do that in case of a chemical engineering? Basic chemistry or chemical engineering studies are required, and I'll tell you how the basic things works and how one can appreciate the basic things. Then the transport phenomena, shifting the equilibrium. Like transport phenomena is something which is many of you may understand when you have transportation of a fluid or transportation of a material. That's a one phenomena. Second phenomena is when you have a two fluids with each other, or two compounds interacting with each other, there is a transport of material within that. Some could be at the molecular level where diffusion is playing the role, and some could be at higher level. So this transport phenomena and shifting is there. And then in chemistry, shifting equilibrium towards the right side of the reaction, where A plus B giving you C plus D. So you want to move, or you want to maximize C plus D. Don't want unreacted A plus B. So in that case, this is what is called shifting of equilibrium. Upscaling and process intensifications. These are some of the things which are further developed. I'm not going into detail of this, but let's understand how the basic concepts and the interventions. So what happens in chemical engineering is, again, is I was talking about the transport phenomena. So this is a mass transfer theory, one of the mass transfer theory, which is called two-film theory. Two-film theory actually explains that when there is a gas on the one side and the liquid which is on the other side, if they are contacted with each other, imagine a bubble of a liquid flowing in a gas, or otherwise a bubble of a gas passing through the liquid. Okay, so in that case, there is a contact between gas and liquid, and there is a boundary layer at the there is an interface of the contact. This interface is depicted over here. What happens is, suppose some kind of a compound in the gas phase has to get into the liquid. Say, for example, dissolving of the oxygen from air into water, if we consider this. So gas phase is your air and the liquid phase is water, and we are trying to dissolve oxygen. Okay. For those who are environmental engineering side or those who are from the civil engineering side, this is important concept when we are talking about uh, treatment of the wastewaters, because we need to have oxidation processes, and these oxidation processes, aerobic processes, require dissolving of oxygen into liquid. Now, what happens is there is some concentration in the gas phase, and there is some concentration of oxygen into liquid phase. But at the interface, there is a small film form on the both sides, on the gas side as well as the liquid side, and the concentration gradient drops because it has to come to the concentration of a liquid phase. And there are two concentrations over here which are called equilibrium concentration. They are in equilibrium with each other. So this is the concept in a chemical engineering, or even those who learns the transport phenomena in other engineering, they must know that there is a two-film theory of the mass transport. Other depiction could be, instead of this kind of straight lines, this could be a gradual decrease or gradual change in the concentration gradients and both the sides. Um, Another example of this could be, suppose you have an aqueous phase and you have an organic phase on the other side, both are immixable to each other. Again, you will form a kind of an interface in between. And same principles applied, the concentration gradients on the aqueous phase, concentration gradient on the organic phase, and there is equilibrium concentration on the interface. Now, this is the very simple concept. And if you go to the basics, this is being taught in to all those who has been learning transport phenomena in a very early years of your career. So this particular thing which we look at, it's a very common phenomena. One of my friend has worked on some homogeneous catalysis and aqueous phase and organic phase as the two phases used together, and shown that the now the condition is if something has to pass through from aqueous phase to organic phase, it will have all these difficulties. But whereas on the interface at the equilibrium, it's an instantaneous contact, it's an instantaneous reaction. Okay? So what they did is they did a very small simple reaction which could be possibly done on the interface. Okay? And they showed that how they proved by the direct evidences that the reaction was occurring at the interface. And this simple thing has resulted a paper in Nature for them. Long way back, 1995, they have said that enhancement of interfacial catalysis in a biphasic system using catalyst binding ligands. So this particular paper appeared in the Nature. Okay. Now, why? No, I'm saying that if you want to be very having a very impactful research, you might have to go to the basics, and basics will tell you how to generate something which actually following the some basic phenomena. So this phenomena could be of the physics phenomena, this could be of the chemical engineering phenomena, this could be used in your fluid mechanics. So these are the phenomena which are coming from there. So it's a simple phenomena which actually got converted. Now that is why that is how one can go for the research into much more deeper. So this is one of the way of identifying whether we can really do something new by going to the basics. And how do we do that? We combine certain effects, certain kind of things which are existing. Say, for example, this is an adsorbent system example given. In case of the adsorbent system, first let me explain what is adsorption and what is the adsorbent systems used for. So the adsorption system is basically when you are trying to use kind of a material or a kind of a solids which are used for separation of two gases or a separation of a pollutant from the gases mixture or a separation of a pollutant from the water. Say, for example, today it is very important, many of you must have been also working on this, is CO2 capture. I don't know, many of you are from the chemical engineering or not, or which areas you belongs to, but whichever area you belong to, If you are not directly absorbing carbon dioxide, you are actually working on something else which will actually contribute to the climate change issues. So adsorption is a phenomenon where solids are used for separation of a gases from a mixture, and where what is important is if this is a three-dimensional structure of the kind of material, then it can be used as a molecular sieve, and their pore structure is very important. Whereas there could be some surface modifications also. You can make a surface attractive for some of them gases, and other gases can be repelled. And also there are some processes development is required. If you work in all these three fields, this is the area where you can combine the effect to improve the activity. You can have the pore engineering, you can have the surface modification. So this is something which is a marginal kind of improvement. You always can do. Whoever is doing the research, and if he knows few things in that area, the combination of it to get a better effect is always called as a marginal innovation. However, if this marginal innovation can generate into synergistic effect, say for example, if you have a pore structure engineering done, or you have a material A where the pore structure is modified, and the material B where the surface modification and functionalization is done, and they depict some kind of performance. Suppose if you combine them, and the combined performance is more than the addition of the performances of these two methods individually, which you have done before. So if it is more than the addition of the individual performances, then this combined performance is called as synergistic effect. So synergistic effect is one of the concepts which we must understand, that anytime if we are combining the things which are known before, it could be in the computer science also, it could be in mathematics also, it could be anywhere. You need to get a synergistic effect. In case of a computational science, probably the speed of computation or the amount of data can be handled in the computation could be one of the very important aspect. You might have a different methodologies, breaking a problem into small problems, solving it parallelly. You might have a high performance computing systems. You might have something which is on the hardware side, which is like a very high clock speeds of those chips. So something which is there are many approaches, but if you combine the approach, it should result into performance which is more than the addition of the performances individually occurring because of certain modifications. Okay. So this is how it is called as a synergistic effect. So synergistic effect has to be understood, and when you go for IPR or a patents, uh, there is one line always said: mere combination of the known things or obvious things do not make a patent. However, the line should be read further. Actually, it stops here, but the line should read further that, however, if the synergistic effect is depicted, it is patentable. Okay. So, what is novel? If you want to check what is novel and how you go ahead with it. So, this is one of the method and one of the tests which you can actually look at. Similar thing can happen in the catalyst when the catalytic systems are used. Catalyst design, reactor configuration, unsteady state, steady state conditions. I'm going to go into the details of this, how we modify the conditions, active environments. So such kind of things also matters on the catalyst. So similar absorbent and the catalyst. Now, what we did in our lab was when we are working, when I am working on this kind of catalyst and the materials, I try to use various techniques from other fields as well. How do we got it included into our research, and how do we get advantage of it? So we started with a kind of a material which is called perovskite type of material. Forget about the name of the material, but some catalyst which is having a complex kind of structure. Here some crystallographic structure, simple cubic face centered crystallographic structure is shown over here. What you can do is you can change of these atoms which are shown as a blue and the red one. You can change partial substitution, you can change completely, and then therefore you get different structures here. So to find out what kind of different structures can be useful, what we did was we used some basic structures and then followed the combinatorial approach for the synthesis. What is the combinatorial approach? Combinatorial approach comes from the genetic kind of things, where you are trying to find out genetic algorithms where genes are mutated, genes are repeated, genes are transformed, genes are destroyed. Okay, so several things happens in genetic algorithm. So similar algorithm we applied it to material science and chemistry, where we try to change these atoms by following those principles of mutation, partial mutation, then of course repetitions also. So replacements also. So those things we followed, and we created a series of or a array of or a kind of a number of kind of materials, and then we tested it using high throughput evaluation assembly. I'll explain it further down the line, so I'm not going into detail. And the material designs and the molecular modeling was used for understanding the basic phenomena occurring inside the material. This is quite a atomistic level simulation, atom to atom interaction, and you can find out what kind of interactions are there. And this is something which is very useful to understand the basic phenomena occurring over here. So we used a combination of different approaches. We used a combination of different approaches to our traditional method of making a catalyst or adsorbent and evaluating it, and therefore we could generate something more new, novel, and we could patent it. Of course, we also used some advanced reactors. We worked on advanced reactors. The concepts here we started using in 2005. So this is something which can be explained very well. Don't worry about the chemical reactions, but what important is both the chemical reactions which I used to follow, isooctane reforming and cyclohexane dehydrogenation, both are endothermic reactions. That means they need energy. They need this kind of energy. This delta H is the energy requirement into it. So these endothermic reactions are notorious, and what is required is you need to keep this is something which is happening like this. There is a heater and there is a catalyst placed over here, and this catalyst is heated on which the reactant is coming, and this is getting reacted on the surface of the catalyst. What we did was to keep this catalyst, because if you we introduced the cyclohexane or isooctane as the compound, which are liquid in form, using a nozzle, a spray nozzle. A spray nozzle could create this kind of a spray. So this spray nozzle was spraying the reactant on the catalyst surface. And what is happening was the catalyst was getting cooled. Basically, this is at a colder temperature, at the room temperature. Catalyst is heated, but it is spraying. So it's almost like cooling this catalyst. So the reaction would start, but since the catalyst is getting cooled, this is not possible to conduct the reaction furthermore, because you need a certain amount of heat to be transferred. And if the catalyst is not heated, it is losing its heat. So what we did was to make it more efficient for such kind of endothermic reaction, we say pulse mode. That means we intermittently sprayed this uh, liquid. We sprayed for every 1 second, for every 1,000 seconds, for every 10 second once, and opened this pulse for a few milliseconds only. So this is how we created the spray pulse mode reactor. Otherwise, which is not common in the chemical engineering, and therefore we have generated a different reactor, and for which we could enhance our activities. Why the activities were enhanced? Again, when you have a lower injection frequency, even if we are using pulse injection of the liquid, so what was happening was the other area is also heated, and that almost is like a gas phase reaction occurring. Is everything getting evaporated before it is reaching to the catalyst surface? So the only vapors are reaching over here. So what is happening is, again, the catalyst and the reactant contact would be difficult, and the product removal is easy. But then catalyst would be at the higher temperature, but then reactions are not so efficient. When you have a very low injection frequency, that means frequency interval and the interval between two injection is large. On the other side, if the interval is too small, and if you have an intermittent, very quick kind of pulse coming, then there will be a liquid pool formation on the catalyst surface. And this will cool down the catalyst again. So it's a liquid rich condition. So we optimize the reactor in such a way that we have some intervals which are in such a way that you form not the gas phase, not the liquid phase, but a multi-phase conditions on the catalyst surface. And therefore, you can get a better kind of process. So why I'm explaining this is how one can imagine, one can understand the phenomena occurring in their research. What kind of optimizations which we need and why we need those optimizations. What happens when we look at certain phenomena and suppose you get the anomalies of the data into your, some data are not as you are imagining. So why it is happening? Say for example, uh, at the very low injection frequency, we are having very low amount of feed. The feed is increasing from here to here and here to here. So obviously it was expected normally that as you increase the feed, you will get the more and more product. That is happening up to this stage. But if we go beyond, it's actually dropping. And why it is dropping, we need to understand. So such kind of phenomena, when we try to examine into the detail, then you can find out where you want to stop. Say for example, it's not it's not good to have uh, too much of a force added to certain thing or for a particular work to be done. So when to stop, it can be, and therefore the optimization problems are solved in the research. So this is how one can look at it. Then we added one more feature to this reaction was we added a quartz separator between catalyst and heater, and we applied a very high voltage on the catalyst surface and the heater as a ground. And this is something like 10,000 volt was added, and therefore we generated a plasma. And the plasma is something which is very active envelope and which actually was looking like this. And therefore this reaction was further improved. So what we were trying to do was we had a simple catalyst and a reactant to be reacted on the catalyst surface, and typically something which is like energy has to be added. We further change it's into pulse play mode. That is what is called unsteady state condition into chemical engineering. We also modify the surrounding atmosphere by ionization, so creating ionization zone using plasma, and therefore our things were quite active. Now, generally, the catalyst, you don't worry about this. These stars are the active sites on which the reaction will occur, and E is the electron or OH is the OH radicals which are occurring. So when you have both together plasma catalyst hybrid system, you actually both are acting. Radicals are also acting. Oxygen radicals are also acting, and also the active sites on the catalyst surface are taking part, and therefore enhanced reaction could occur. So the fundamentally what I'm trying to make a point over here is when we try to combine, I just some known phenomena. Plasma is a known phenomena. Okay, so and we have already reported by that time the atomized spray pulse reactor. So atomized spray pulse reactor was also known maybe by us and maybe by a few more researchers. And then combination of this plasma and spray pulse we did. But what we was trying to do was trying to get into synergistic effect. And therefore, synergistic effect is a very important aspect of everything. So please remember that point. So that's the point which I wanted to make. Although the examples I'm taking from the research which I do and the area in which I work on. Now, high throughput infrared thermography. So generally what happens is when you have a, again, in our cases, what we do is we have a machine called gas chromatograph. Basically, gas chromatograph can analyze the gases and tell you the concentrations. For those who are not from this background, they can just understand a machine which can do concentration of the gases. So what we generally would have done the experiments was like we can create a catalyst bed, pass a reactant through it, and then we try to use we try to analyze that gas which is coming from exhaust of the reactor. So we analyze what is going inside, what is coming outside. So this is the method by which you are trying to find out if there are any reactions are occurring. This was is a good method, a very conventional method, but one catalyst at a time, and the reaction could last for many hours. So what we did was we use this principle when the reactant comes on the catalyst. Before the reactant has arrived, the catalyst is heated at a temperature T1. And when the reactant is arrived, there is a chemical reaction, and there will be certain temperature generated, either generated or lost, whatever. And therefore, the T1 is now changed to T2. And if you can find out what kind of temperatures are these T1 and T2 by some method, then probably you can also find out how much of energy was generated or consumed, and therefore you can also find out what is the extent of chemical reaction occurring. So what we did was we actually, I will go to other one first. Yeah, what we did was we kept several catalysts. Here only 9 are shown, but we have a plate in our lab which is about 400 catalysts at a time. So we kept 400 different catalysts, and we allow reactant to come. And same times we were simultaneously monitoring using the IR camera. What does IR camera does? IR camera is, now we all know that you are those non-contact temperature, body temperature measurements. This is based on IR. So IR can measure the IR radiation, infrared radiation emitted by every body in the universe, and that is depending on the temperature of the body. Okay? So that's how they measure your body temperature, whether you have a fever or not. So exactly the same principle, but a very sophisticated IR camera was used over here. And what we monitored was the change in those temperatures. So brighter means the more reaction occur over here. The dull means there was hardly any reaction occur over here. And therefore we could select some good catalysts which are having good activity for this particular chemical reaction. And then we further modified those, and that is how we used it. We also use the similar principle on adsorbent. So I'm trying to say we moved from the conventional method of uh, monitoring or conventional method of evaluation. We moved to a certain different method in the lab to expedite our research, to find out the new mechanisms which can occur. And I'll show you how. This is again the same reaction setup, except that instead of a catalyst over here now, which I was trying to explain, that we pass the mixture of gases, some reaction will occur, the reactant mixture is passed towards the gas chromatograph, GC is gas chromatograph, and you analyze it. Similar thing can happen for adsorption. We can have an adsorbent over here, and this was a quartz tube, and we monitor again using an IR camera. What was generated was, we call it them breakthrough curves. Suppose the adsorbent come over here, it starts the gases come over here, they start getting adsorbed here. Adsorbent act as a sponge. Basically, you understand it as a sponge for the different gases. So for here, the sponge is for adsorbing CO2. So it will adsorb CO2 and let helium go further. So similarly, once this area is saturated, next area will start adsorbing and go down like that. So till the complete column is exhausted with the capacity of adsorption of CO2, because adsorbent has a particular capacity. 1 gram can adsorb so many milligrams of CO2 and so and so. So this is like when it is adsorbing completely, you don't get any CO2 outside, zero CO2 over here. So this is zero CO2. Once the column is saturated, you will suddenly get what is input is. The input concentration and output concentrations remain the same, nothing gets adsorbed. This is what is called the breakthrough of the column. So what we did was, we did with the IR camera, and we could find out how this zone moves, what speed it moves. And this is for the first ever, we did the direct observation of a mass transfer zone or a adsorption zone in adsorption column. And this is something, the rate of adsorption and the speed of adsorption could be directly monitored This is first time ever in chemical engineering we did it. So these are some of the things which we. So another thing which I was trying to explain after this was we had a kind of a spray pulse mechanism. We tilted this catalyst and we have created a window, and again IR camera was looking at it. So this IR thermography has worked for us for a large thing because catalyst temperature is important, and because of the IR camera we could see pixel to pixel temperature what is happening on our catalyst surface. Catalyst is slightly tilted, therefore slightly lower temperature zone at the bottom because the liquid can flow, and because reactant is liquid, and it can slightly accumulate at the bottom side of the this particular tilted phase, and therefore you will see always here there will be some low temperature and the higher temperatures are at the top, and the middle also is the higher temperature. So this is something when with the pulse arrived and it progresses, reaction progresses, we monitored what is happening on the catalyst surface, and this got converted into histograms, and those histograms could reveal a lot of information on what is happening at the gas liquid multiphase or the liquid rich conditions, which I was trying to explain before. And this is how deeper and deeper analysis we did, because we could monitor pixel to pixel temperature on our catalyst surface, otherwise we were not doing it. So something which has not done before could reveal more information about what is happening in our actual experiment, and can we modify those experiments in certain way. So this could get revealed because we created something which is much more different than what we were conventionally doing. Um, I'm not going to go into the details of this also, but then again the same thing. We changed the kind of a catalyst structure itself. Here it is alumite. Alumite is a anodized aluminum plate. An anodized aluminum plate, when you keep it over here, you are having a better contact as compared to when we use a carbon cloth as a support. So cloth is a wavy structure, so you don't get a good heat transfer. So we could actually find out what kind of support need to be changed. So once we started understanding how to monitor the temperatures, we started understanding few more phenomena in the our reactions, our experiments, and therefore we could get better. Okay, now this is something about the catalytic systems. Other than this is much more chemistry. As I said, it's a chemistry, chemical engineering, chemical technology. These are interdependencies. And what I'm trying to do is, there is a problem in the water. Generally, we have a nitrates in sometimes in the drinking water, and we were working on the nitrate removal. And this nitrate removal has got several kind of methods. One is adsorption, another is ion exchange, then nanofiltration using membrane kind of filters, and catalytic. So we were using catalytic reactions for certain different reasons, which are uh, listed over here. I'm not going into the detail, but majorly because it's easy to carry out reaction and the low waste generated. So this is the reaction which we use for the removal of the nitrate. What we did was, generally there are two types of catalysts reported. One is palladium and another is palladium plus copper. And what they say is, if they are reduced in a reduced condition, they can be used very well. We avoided the palladium kind of catalyst, which is very expensive. We used some normal iron kind of catalyst and created a certain reaction, the very basic principles of chemistry. I'm not going into detail. If you all were from the chemical engineering, I would have explained it in much more detail. But then what is important here is we change a kind of oxidation states. That's the only thing you try to remember. So by doing so, small modifications in the chemistry of the catalyst, we could generate a very novel catalyst. In fact, this is something which has been reported further down the line in a review by a European author, and he spent almost 2 paragraphs in his paper on our paper, our report, that this is what is the way forward for such kind of aqueous phase reactions. Ultimately, it got generated into some kind of more things, and we could generate reactors out of it. Now, One more thing which I'm going to explain, and then we will find out few more things. How do we work? So this is a reaction which we are doing for hydrogen storage and delivery. LOH means liquid organic hydrides. Liquid organic hydrides means these kind of compounds. This is toluene getting converted to methyl cyclohexane. Okay, so these kind of liquid organic hydrides are good for hydrogen storage and delivery. The future fear is going to be the hydrogen. All of us has to shift over to the hydrogen, and we will be using hydrogen fuel cell cars soon. Maybe in another 10 years, you will not be able to buy a diesel or a petrol-driven car. So this is at least a new car cannot be brought in. The old cars will still continue for some time, but the new cars, new vehicles, all will shift to the hydrogen or EV, and typically they will shift more towards hydrogen than EV also. So this reaction which we used and we generated a catalyst. Why this reaction was used? Because the compound which is formed, which is having some hydrogen getting into it, is having this same properties as gasoline and the diesel as on today, and therefore they can be transported using lorry kind of structure. For those who are not from the field, let me tell you, transportation of hydrogen is a very big difficulty in becoming hydrogen economy. Hydrogen is very explosive in nature. It catches fire very easily. Hydrogen has to be pressurized sometimes. Hydrogen has to be cooled. All those requires a lot of energy. So transportation, safe transportation of hydrogen, the long distances is very difficult. Further difficulty is it's a very light molecule. So in a given volume, you cannot store more hydrogen per volume. Some kgs of hydrogen per meter cube is very small. So these are the difficulties which we solved by using our own reaction. How did we do? We created some catalysts which are again the bimetallic kind of catalyst, which interact with each other and gives you the synergistic effect. This is the effect of a nickel 20%. This is the effect of the platinum 0.5%. Okay. And if you combine these two, 20% of nickel and 0.5% of it, if you sum up this should be 228. We got 246. Slightly better, at least around 20% better than both individually acting. So this is synergistic effect, and we could possibly patent this. We have patented this catalyst. So unless you got a synergistic effect, just to explain what is synergistic effect is. So this individually 20% nickel, individually 0.5% platinum, combined together, they are acting much better than individual summation of the individual performances. So this is what we have shown as, and now having followed those basic principles and other thing, now we are ready with the prototype which can give uninterrupted power supply to telecom towers, and this is ready with us now, and this will be this can be given in the market so that we can start or we can um, provide very clean energy and uninterrupted power supply to the fuel cell, to the telecom towers. Similar concept can be used for many other things. So we have patents and other things. In a summary, just if you go, don't worry about what summary is written over here. In a summary, it is important to look at the basic principles. You have to go to the basic thing. Interdependability of the science and engineering, whichever the field you are in, or further down the line, the technology. This is what is important to have synergistic effect, even if are having known things. You can think of this was given example from some evaluation processes, but we are also going deeper and deeper into finding the applications of, like, say, for example, effect of various wave frequency forms in a physics on biological cell, and therefore what you can generate is a treatment for the cancer. And similarly, when you are trying to find out phytochemicals, the phytochemicals means the chemical extracted from the plants and their impact on biological cells. you are generating the Ayurvedic treatments, which are most modern kind of Ayurveda. So the first example which I gave was various wave frequency form and their impact on the biological cell, and was generated a method for curing few kinds of cancers just within 2 months, okay? And without harmful effects such as radiations. Okay? And this was generated. There is a researcher, Dr. Raja Vijay Kumar, who is at Bangalore, independent researcher. He has done it. It was approved by US FDA, and he is now using it for treatment of the cancer patients. And the second example which I brought in, where the phytochemicals are used and their impact on the biological cell is being examined. This is the research from Ramdev Baba's Patanjali Research Institute. So I had been to both the places, and this is something which is bringing out from some two different fields and bringing together will actually give you a lot of additional information. So the transboundary translatory research, not only interdisciplinary, it is a transboundary research is important. So here I will stop. What we will do is, Arivataji, we will take question and answers on this, and uh, we will uh, we will have a slightly early break today, and because my next session requires more time, so I will like to allocate more time towards the next session, and because it will require interactive session. And how many participants are there today? We have. So we will have to form the groups and other thing. So it takes a lot of time into next session where people will understand a method within the group, how to generate some new ideas and how to identify which was not seen before. So I have shown some examples from our work, which might have been slightly burden for those who are not understanding chemistry and chemical engineering. But nevertheless, you must understand that something which is out of normal procedures, if you do, you are going to be innovative, and the synergistic effect. So I will stop for this particular session now. If there are questions, I can answer, and then we can have a 10 minutes break and start the new session, which is the flowering of idea, which will take much more time.
Okay, dear participants, you can type your questions or raise your hand so that you can unmute yourself.
Participants can also raise their hands. You can unmute them.
In the meantime, let me ask one question to Rajesh ji. Maybe synergetic effect is very good, but why it comes and how it comes? If someone analyze, then it will be much better. So not simply this synergy effect comes. That is saying it may not be good enough. But if someone analyze why it comes and how it comes, then it will be much better.
Actually, we did analyze that also. I did not go into the much of the detail because it would have been too much of a chemistry.
That's true.
But then what happens is some of the interdependency of these two, say for example, in case of that 20% nickel and 0.5% platinum, they actually electronically interact with each other. And the platinum has got some capacity to donate the electron and attract the proton. Okay. So such kind of interactions, which actually leads to the higher rate of reaction by removal of, say, these reactions are reversible reaction. They can be both the side. So if the catalyst, if the reactant comes on the catalyst surface, react, and if the reactants also stays on the surface for similar fashion, then they will react and go back to the original compound. Okay. So to stop that, there are some effects which are called spillover effects of removing one of the product, so that you don't actually you don't allow actually the reverse reaction to occur. So to happen that these two together can have electronic interactions, and they can do it much better. So therefore the synergistic effect is created because of certain interactions between these two independent things present over there. So we do analyze that, and in many other cases, it would be something very, very different, very different than
Okay,
what.
so for different area of research, the synergic effect analysis will be different.
Yes.
And if someone can model very nicely and can interpolate and extrapolate the things to improve the synergic effect, then it will be much better.
Yes. Right.
Okay, so some participant have raised this, Sadhana, something. So Kausiji, can you please on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give me 1 minute. Hello, Saranya ma'am. You are unmuted. Hello, Saranya ma'am.
அதுக்கு மட்டும் தான் கம்மி பண்ணிருக்காங்க தவிர மத்த
Hello.
எல்லாருக்கும் அதே ரேட். ஆனா இதுல எண்ணெயில இருந்து எல்லாத்துக்கும் அதாவது
Good morning, Saranya ma'am. Good morning, Saranya ma'am.
I think so she waited for some time and then again went to mute mode.
It is unmute now.
She made by mistake. She has unmuted it, I believe.
மோஸ்டா இதுல 4
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Hello, Saranya ma'am. Can you hear us? Hello, Saranya ma'am. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Sir, I think we can move on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
can move on.
So let's have a 10 minutes break so that we come in, and then I will need a lot of volunteers from participants. So at that point of time, those who raise the hand and we register them as a participant into the activity, you will please allow them to unmute them, okay, so that we can conduct this session. This session is going to be very, very interesting.
More
But then
interactive than
sometime-
that, we require to mute and unmute people, maybe.
Right.
So at
So
what
this
time we meet? Now it is 11. So
Okay.
we meet at 11:15.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. 11:15 will join. I'll join.
Yeah. So dear participants, we'll stop this session for 15 minutes. So we'll meet again at 11:15. So see you at 11:15. So Kaushikji, you please put a poster on the screen that we'll meet again
Yes,
at 11:15.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
15 minutes. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
You're audible.
Yeah. Supposed to start at 11:15. So, waiting for Rajesh ji to join.
He has not joined yet. Aryavata Sahu, sir, can you please check this chat section?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm already checking. So, hello, Anurag ji, Anurag Agarwal ji. Hello, Anurag Agarwal. Hello.
Yes, sir. Hello. It is Dr. Anurag Vijay Agarwal, Program Manager, EICT IIT Roorkee.
Okay, thank you. So, we are thinking who is this? Okay, thank you. So, nice. Because I didn't have this information, that's why. So, we're waiting for Rajesh Miniwala ji to join. We'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes, then we'll call Benevolji.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, let's wait another 1 or 2 minutes, then we'll call. So hello, you can unmute Raju Dhuli. So he raised his hand. Hello, Kaushik.
Yes, I have unmuted him. Rajesh Thuli, sir. You're on.
Hello, if you have any query, please ask.
Sir, I don't think he has a query because once I unmute him, he
I
is.
mistake him, I must have placed the hand maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So let me call this.
Good afternoon.
Welcome, Rajesh Biniwal, sir.
Raj, welcome back.
Rajesh, sir, you are in mute.
Yeah, I have unmuted myself. All. Okay.
Raj, sir, you can switch on your video maybe. Video is also.
Okay.
So you can start the next sessions.
Yeah, we can start.
Yeah, please start. We are already late, 15 minutes supposed to, but little bit we got late.
Yeah, right.
Yes, fine. No issue.
11:30 we decided now. Or 11:15. 11:15 we decided.
11. Okay, there is some communications.
Okay, no problem. Let me share. I want to share. Please allow me to share.
Sir, your voice is a little bit low. Can you please increase the mic?
Please allow me to share.
Yeah. So your voice is a little bit low.
Now,
So microphone volume is a little bit low. Sir, can you please
let me
increase
check.
that?
Now,
And it's fine.
it was slightly low. Okay. So can I get a share? I got it. This is going to be slightly different. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, we're able to see your screen.
It's trying to maximize this as much as possible. Okay, anyhow, more than sufficient. Okay, what I need is now few volunteers. So how do I select those? Before that, before selecting the volunteers, I would like to select a topic for the today's discussion. I'll give you just brief idea what we are going to do. We are going to select a topic, okay, and this topic which we are going to select, we are going to develop the idea around it. And for the today's thing, I need a topic which is which we all together want to resolve some problem, or we want to generate some new things, anything. So some suggestions which can come. I'm not able to see the chat box now because I have stopped sharing. Again, come back.
Participants, if you want to volunteer yourself, raise your hand. We will unmute you. Or you can drop a message in chat section.
Any topic which you feel that it could be of your interest, your research interest, or your area interest somewhere. If you feel this is an opportunity for you to get one problem solved by many volunteers which are going to join.
So we should select some problem where many people will be interested, kind of thing. Then you'll be more interested.
You can help me, those who knows the fields of this, all participants are, can help me on this. Loss of biodiversity, changing climate. That is the first topic which we have come. Loss of biodiversity. So I'm going to write it.
Raju Dhuli sir, you are unmute. You can speak.
No, his hand is raised from long back, so around 15-20 minutes back. So we try to unmute.
I have unmuted Annu Kumari. She
Yes,
raised
sir.
it up. Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we're able to hear you. Please suggest your topic.
Sir, I have written in chat box that is loss of diversity due to the climatic change or due to the man-made changes.
So, any more suggestions? We'll wait for 2-3 more suggestions so that we can select one topic. It's a good topic, loss of biodiversity.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I am from the biology field, so in my mind only the bio concepts are here.
Some physics man person will give you the solution for biodiversity.
Yes, sir. I'm muting myself. Thank you.
Give more suggestions on the topic.
So can it be more general topic? So connecting India kind of things by road and rail network?
Yeah, can be connecting India
By road and rail network.
by road and rail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or can I put it back like smart road and rail network?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll wait for one more topic to come. Otherwise, we'll select a general one so that. And of course, I will need few more volunteers also. Okay. So since nobody is volunteering, how come this session will be conducted? This session requires your participation. I am just going to be a moderator. Ethical consumption relevant to HRM field.
Human resource management.
Ethical consumption. Can you unmute and just explain what you mean by ethical consumption here?
So let me unmute him.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Kameshwari.
Yeah.
We're able to hear you.
So what is the ethical consumption relevant to human resource management field? Can you explain bit?
Sir, I'm not aware about this actually. I would like to go on with the discussion. When I'm browsing the content, it is completely coming to the marketing field. How the people will be consuming the products, and in that, what way they can be able to, what are the ethics they need to follow. However, it would be relevant to the employer perspective also. Employer and employee relation also, it will be involved in ethical way. So how we could be able to connect, I would like to go on with the discussion in this.
Okay. So since we have three of them, and as Sahuji was saying, more general, which where other participants from every field can give, because this session can be conducted from very specialized for very specialized group where you can really go into the details. Whereas today, which we are going to give you a kind of a sort of a training on which this can be conducted. So I'm going to select smart road and rail network for the country. This is what the topic which we will go further. So now what I need is I need 10 volunteers who will help me to develop this idea further. Those who feel that they can have some ideas on the smart road and rail network in the country, or they can suggest some ideas, please register yourself. Please say your name over here in the chat box.
So we'll unmute and then we'll listen to him. It's better.
Yeah. You can register your name. I think people should have this idea. People should have idea that how to, how they want, or at least how they want. They want roads without potholes. They want roads which are wider. They want road which are having no accidents. So many things you might be also knowing, wanting. Similarly for the rail. So this is a good idea to generate one typical idea and its solution. So please volunteer. There were a few more pesticide impact on human health. Others. From Rajesh Kumar Dalai privately want to interact. Yeah, that's a separate thing. But Rajesh Kumar Dalai, do you want to participate in this particular thing right now?
Yeah, please unmute Rajesh.
Okay, yes, sir, he said. So the first registration had come, Rajesh Kumar Dalai. We need more. Please participate. This is going to be fun.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, very well.
Sir, my view in regard to this.
You don't want to, no, you don't need to give the views right now. We will take your views in a systematic manner. Just keep on. Now,
Let's select 10 people.
Yeah, let's select all 10 people and then we will move.
Yes, thank you.
So does this group do not have the people who are ready to intellectually participate into the group discussion?
So nothing will harm you. So whatever your view, you just present. And whatever you want to tell, just tell. So we want some 10, 15 people.
10 people precisely.
Yeah.
One has already registered.
Naveen Sharma, if you like to I am going to unmute you.
Anshu Bhatt also registered.
Yeah. Please unmute the concept word also.
No, Kumari has raised the hand. So no, Kumari has raised the hand. So is that you want to join?
Yes, sir, for that connecting India smart road.
Who was speaking now?
Sir, Naveen Sharma.
Naveen Sharma. Okay. Naveen Sharma. So we got only 3 right now. We need more. Hello? Hello? So we'll have to be faster. Please.
Puri Devi, would you like to join the session?
Those who want to participate in the development of this idea. Session cannot be started unless we have a people. Dada Kameshwari, you suggested a topic, although we did not select your topic, but you can still participate. Okay, she said yes.
So participants, if I unmute you, please do not mute yourself because again and again I have to search for the names. Stay unmute only.
Then who has also suggested the topic before, but we did not take up, that's okay. Puri Devi?
Please, can you hear my voice, sir? Yes, sir.
Your voice is very low. Who is speaking?
Very low, please increase your volume, microphone volume.
Sir, how can I point?
So we are not able to hear you. Please increase your microphone volume.
Ori Devi is speaking, but your volume is very low.
So please increase your microphone volume.
I have already. Can you hear my voice now?
Ma'am, your voice is very low. Can you speak a bit louder or speak near to the speaker microphone?
Lisa, can you hear my voice now, sir?
Slightly better.
Better now.
Huh?
But still it is low.
Oh, sir, I don't know. Actually, I'm participating by that my phone. So I don't know what's happening. But yes, I'm interested to participate. But I don't know. Am I audible to you or not?
You
Right
are
now.
audible, but volume is your voice is very low. So it's very difficult to understand.
Few more names like Simran Kaur, who has suggested a topic for marketing. Can you help us to develop the smart road and rail network? Say yes or no. Simran Kaur.
Simran Kaur, you are unmute.
Generally, whenever I conduct this particular session in other forums, I generally have to stop people participating. If I ask 10, I generally get 15, 20. I don't know why you people are shy about expressing yourself. No need to shy. Okay? It's not like we are asking you in the middle of the battle in US and Russia and Ukraine that which direction we should go. So very simple.
More general discussion, your view and your suggestions we want.
So very small things which we are going to discuss. So no need to be shy about it. No need to be hesitant. I thought I will get immediately 20 people, but now even making 5 is getting difficult. Two more people and then we will go ahead. Simran Kaur. So now let's make it. Aryabhatta Sahu as one more participant. Yeah. Aryabhatta Sahu. Aryabhatta Sahu.
Aryabhatta. It is old name of India.
Aryabhatta. Okay, Aryabhatta.
Old name of India. So
Yes, Aryabhatta.
Aryabhatta.
Yeah, and Anurag Agrawal. The names which I am seeing on this.
Yes, sir.
Can you participate?
You can be one participant.
Yes.
Discussion forum. And
Yes.
if it's more general topic, we can discuss whatever we want, kind of thing.
So now these are the 6 people. So what I will request is to unmute these 6 people. I read the name that these people can be unmuted. Rajesh Kumar Dalai, Diptanshu Bhatt, Mr. Naveen Sharma, Jada Kameshwari. Sahuji is already unmute. Anurag Agrawal. So I need all these people to be unmuted.
Sir, can you please repeat the fourth name? Kameshwari something.
Jada Kameshwari.
Jada Kameshwari. Okay. Okay. We have 6 people.
Yeah, 6 people unmuted.
Okay.
I'm not seeing Naveen Sharma ji unmuted. Can you unmute? Yeah, now it's fine.
So before going to the topic, let me give you the basic flavor of actually India road network and this thing, rail network. So this road network and rail network either developed by government or PPP model. So it's driven by economic point of view, means from what the business will grow more, then load point of view, where the load will be more, many people will travel, then if government want, then they want connectivity point of view. Remote area need to be also connected if government want, but not the economic point of view. But major time it is driven by economic point of view and road point of view. And in general, where good road are there, so density of populations will be more people will be there, more industry will be there, and we can say wherever good roads are there, more development reaches to that area more frequently. Okay. And if you look at road and rail, actually it's actually contribute to the overall development of the area. So if a area is connected by road, so then its area get developed very nicely. Means particularly it get overpopulated also. It is connected very well. It get denser. It get industrialized. It has negative effect also, but overall it get developed if it is connected by the network. And if some area is not connected by road and network, rail network, then that area is not developed. If you look at India map, some part of country is not connected well, and that part is really developed, we can say. So this is actually developing and not developing is completely correlated with actually road and rail network. And how to make India developed, overall developed, so that it will be good for India. So how to make good road network and rail network to connect India such that every part of the country will be equally developed. How smartly we can do. So I'm giving 1 point. So I don't want to see a point in India map which is 20 kilometers far from.
Aryavrataji, that's all we are going to cover. So just hold on. Okay. Just I want to start with just once say hello. I'm going to take the name so that I can be sure that you are audible. Rajesh Kumar Dale.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Diptan Shubat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very well. Navin Sharma ji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very well. Kameshwari. Yada Kameshwari. Is she unmute? She is saying please unmute. Please unmute her.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Aryavrataji is quite audible. Anurag, you are audible.
Ma'am, stay unmute. Otherwise, you cannot
Yes.
unmute yourself.
Yeah, stay unmute.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you are the panelist, so you cannot unmute yourself. Okay. Mr. Anurag Agarwal, you are unmute. Anurag Agarwal.
He left, I think so. It's not visible.
We want here. One more volunteer at least. Anyhow, let me explain the rule of the game. So we have 5 participants. Nevertheless, now Sauji has given you some background of road and rail network. What is the importance of it? Okay. Otherwise, also there must be something going in your mind, or at least when we have selected this topic and put it on the screen, you are seeing my screen and you are seeing that one smart road and rail network box I have put here, text box. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
great.
sir.
Yeah. So now the rule of the game is I'm going to call everybody's name in a sequence, and you have to give one idea of how to make our road and rail network efficient, smart, effective, whatever. Okay. You might have more than one idea generating in your mind right now, but you have to select the best out of it. Okay. And give only one idea. So I'm going to call name. So with that name only, so I'm just written whatever the sequence I have written, I'm going with that only. Rajesh Kumar Dale.
Yes.
Give us your best idea, which you feel that it is the one of the best idea you could possibly say that can be smart.
So I'm be the initiator of this discussion.
Yeah.
Not initiator. So you put your own view.
Just one idea we want from your side. One idea, one view. one problem, or also you can state that this problem should be resolved for smart and role network. Anything, a single idea.
Yes, sir, sure, sir. So talking about my idea in the context of, I have two suggestions. Means one suggestion.
No. Hold on. No two suggestions. This is what is the beauty of the game. Just one suggestion you feel as the best one. Even within that two, you select which one should be must. Other can be spared.
Yes, sir. Okay, fine, sir. My idea will be, I have seen, because I belongs to Odisha, and there are nearby city called Bhubaneswar, and basically a smart city, and many enterprises, private enterprises are private hubs are there. There I have seen a lack of transportation, means a public transport facility.
Okay, public
If
transport.
yes, if we can establish a railway or metro network in the Bhubaneswar city itself, which will keep running in Bhubaneswar city itself, by crossing the prominent hubs, means the industrial hubs, means the private enterprises hubs, where the
Okay. So let's say public metro network, which you feel would make it more efficient. Okay, you are saying it for a specific area, but let's say generally also it would be. Okay. Now the second name is Diptanshu Bhatt.
Yes, sir. See, I am from Dharmasai Desai University, sir, and I am from Gujarat, Nadiad. What is the problem with Nadiad? That it is between Anand and Ahmedabad, and some of the fast trains, although Nadiad is a junction, but some of the fast trains are not stopping on the, although it's a junction, Nadiad, they are not stopping on the Nadiad. Either the passengers there to catch the train from Ahmedabad or from Nadiad, from Anand, or so the all the fast trains, they must stop on Nadiad because it's a big junction and it's a birthplace of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, where the university is there. Okay, and it's a not town, but it's now converted into a smaller city. So all these rails should be stopped there.
Okay. So this is like a kind of a demand which you are saying that our rail should stop. But if that start happening, our railway network will be completely slowest possible railway network on the earth. This will happen. Okay. So although there is a historical importance of the place, although there is a good thing, so can we put up in different way this, that some of the important network, important historical places, or important places, I will remove an historical. It could be important because of industry and because of medical hub. Okay, should be put on the network, railway network.
मेरे ख्याल से जो हिमालय वाला सेंधा नंबर बोला वो थोड़ा सस्ता पड़ा है। पता नहीं इधर से और मंगाया था उस दिन जब 70-80 रुपए का।
Somebody is talking.
पहले भी तो ही लाए थे, पहले भी तो इसने गए था।
Diptanshu Bhatt, should I say this like important places to be included in the network, right? Not that everywhere it is possible, but at least some important places can be included. Okay. Now Naveen Sharma ji.
Yes. Sir, I propose to have rapid transit between the satellite towns of the larger urban centers.
Come again, your voice was low. Rapid.
Sir, my idea was to have a really high speed or rapid transit between the satellite towns of larger urban centers.
Okay.
If we talk about Delhi, then we have some satellite towns The people are going use that they used to up down daily for their works to these larger urban centers. So we can propose a larger territory to the urban centers, and all the satellite towns would be connected with high-speed networks direct to the urban centers.
This is one of the best solutions, what I felt.
Okay. Okay, so this is one more thing which has come to us, and we have 3 of them now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Jada Kameshwari, can
Yes,
you?
sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving the opportunity. I'm not very much new to this field. So, hello.
Yeah, we are listening.
Okay. So in this, what I'm going to suggest is what is my opinion is, I'm sorry, my voice, I'm recognizing again. It's repeating my voice only.
No, no, your voice, we are getting your voice correctly and very loudly, very, very well. Don't worry. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, according to my suggestion, that is smart roads which detects the according to the speed and according to the vehicle, if they are detecting some kind of what kind of vehicle, and based on the destination location what we are giving, there should be separate path, and also based on the destination, it should if it gives a separate path to move various vehicles, and with a connected street lights and solar powered street lights, motion activated street lights if it's there, a traffic sensor should.
Hold on. You have to give only one idea, not a complete thesis. Just your best idea we want. You must have been listening to us. We don't want a thesis from you right now. We just want one best idea. You are you saying that a separate path for a different vehicles is the best idea you want to give? If yes, I'm
Based on,
going.
yes, sir. Based on the destination, separate, it should be based now.
Okay.
Separate streetways, yes.
Separate pathways for vehicle. Pathways for vehicles. Depend based on destinations.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I understand this. It will solve a lot of congestion problem. Arivrataji?
So my point will be it's a little bit more India level. So connecting India with actually kind of spark network, centering at actually Nagpur, and from Nagpur wherever you go, so it should not take more than 7 hours to connect India.
You mean to say we should have a larger hub and network kind of mechanism.
Yeah.
Entering India from center of India.
And from center of India. And another thing is we should not actually connect the Delhi, but instead of DDEX, another point nearby to Delhi, but not the Delhi. Because already Delhi is developed, but not to Delhi, but nearby point of Delhi, but DDEX.
We don't want 2 points. We want one single point. So just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, Rajesh sir, I would also like to add one point.
Who is that?
I'm Kaushik, EN ICT host.
Just hold on. Kaushik, we'll have to register you into as a volunteer. Just hold on for a second. Road network from.
No, this is not road network. I told high speed rail.
High speed?
Rail.
High speed rail. Okay. High speed rail from center of India.
Center of India to 4 or 5 destinations.
To all directions.
All directions.
Okay. This is what you said, right? Okay. Now, Kaushik ji, we will allow you to come in. So please suggest your one single idea, which is smart roll and rail network.
Thank you, sir. Sir, my idea is the topic will be smart ticket system, ticketing system. I would like to explain it.
No, okay. Just one very brief.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, very briefly. If you want to explain it very briefly.
Yes. Sir, actually, what happens when we book flight tickets? Suppose we want to book a flight ticket from Bangalore to Guwahati. If there is no direct flight, then it automatically gives us two separate flights, like from Bangalore to Kolkata and from Kolkata.
We are traveling on the road and rail. We are poor people.
No, it's the same thing. Same thing. When, in case of railway, if there is no direct rail from one place to another, we have to book two separate tickets from one place to another. Then we have to book again from the other place to the other place. So if we develop a smart ticket system, so that if we just give the starting destination and end destination, it can automatically give us the trains according to the starting and two different train tickets should be booked at one ticket only. That is what I am saying.
Okay.
Like the second point, important places should be included in.
No, second point. Sorry. Just one point, please. This is what is the beauty of all this flowering idea. You cannot speak more than one idea at a time.
No, sir, I am not adding second point. I am just saying that, like second point said that some important places are not included. Then if those places are not included, there must be some trains running from those places only.
So I'm not asking you the second idea, no? Just smart ticketing system is the only concept we are taking from you.
Yes.
What other? Okay.
Okay.
So that's the rule. That is the rule of the game. You can give only one.
Okay, sir.
So okay, now we have first level of development into the smart road and rail network. We have said that the public metro network to be promoted. This is like more like a local solution. Okay, local solution. Then important places to be included in the network so that we can make it smart. Rapid transit transport between the larger urban centers and satellite town. So this was like public metro was within the town, and this is coming from urban center to satellite. Then separate pathways for vehicle based on destinations. High-speed rail from center of India to all directions, and smart ticketing systems. So currently we have only 6 of these. Okay. Now, what is going to happen is the first one was given, this public metro network was given by Rajesh Kumar Dalai. So Rajesh Kumar Dalai will not speak now. Okay. On this idea, others one by one, I will call their names, and one by one, you are going to give me the suggestions or your idea for developing public metro network. And public metro network, he was wanting that, he gave the example of Bhubaneswar and industrial town kind of thing. If the public metro network is developed, probably it will efficiently make the transportation system. Okay. So it was the idea given by Rajesh Kumar Dalai. So he is not supposed to develop it further. We others help him to develop it further. So Dipanshu Bhatt, think over, everybody start thinking over it on the public metro network. Okay. And when we move to next, Dipanshu Bhatt, who has given this idea of important places, will not speak. Others will speak, including Rajesh Kumar Dalai. So the one who has given the idea will not speak on this second round, but others will give their ideas around these individual ideas itself. Okay. Now, Rajesh Kumar Dalai will not speak, but Dipanshu Bhatt. Dipanshu Bhatt, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
So, Dipanshu, can you say something on the public metro network? You heard?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what is your take on this? What do you want to do?
So, sir, as you have said, sir, that it is a local level. But sir, as far as the amenities and facilities of the public is required in all the states of India, right? This is something what is needed for all the Indians. So I support this idea of public metro network system.
You support that is true, but if it
Right.
has to be implemented, how are you going to implement it?
See, as in Gujarat, sir, right, in Ahmedabad, the work of to reduce the traffic problem in Ahmedabad, already the project is going on, right?
So you mean to say, let me put it in a more formal format. To say,
Yes,
wherever there is already a traffic congestion, you
yes,
network,
yes,
right?
yes.
Congested area,
Uh,
congested areas with respect to traffic. Okay. That is what you want to say?
yes, sir. In the areas which is a very congested area, where this can be possibly implemented.
Yes. This is congested area. Let me some gimmicks so that we can be differentiating it. The second line I have put in the red color. Signal problem, I will put it in blue color. So this is one. Then Navin Sharma ji, your call on this.
Yes, sir. My idea is like ridership is the key to develop a metro network. So we can have cities like Delhi where metro is very successful, and city like Jaipur where metro is still struggling.
Your voice is slightly low. Can you speak louder?
Yes, sir. Sir, we have two examples. I'm saying that ridership is the key factor. We have a city like Delhi, which have a very good ridership and a successful metro network. And we have a city like Jaipur where ridership is low, so metro is not that successful. So my idea is like while incorporating the metro network to the newer cities, we have to make it part and parcel of the master plan or urbanizable land use, so that we can develop the land around the metro nodes accordingly, that it will get the required ridership to make it a successful project.
Can you precisely say so that I can put it in the box?
Sir, the appropriate land use around the metro nodes.
Yeah. And around metro.
Metro nodes, the stations basically.
Whatever I am doing on the screen is visible, right, to everybody?
Visible.
Yes, yes, sir.
So now it's Gada Kameshwari. You have to give your view on this particular aspect.
Yes, sir. So I will suggest this super fast trains, super fast trains. There should be some different pathway. It is available very few in India.
Hold on. Gada. You are not talking about your high-speed rail. Okay. You are talking about now this public metro network, which was given idea by Rajesh Kumar Talai, and we are focusing on only on this aspect right now, no other aspect. Okay. So anything on the public, because people has given that the congested areas with respect to the traffic, if it is there, we should have a public metro network. The other suggestion came was like we should also look at appropriate land use around the metro nodes so that the ridership could be improved. So similarly, anything on public metro network, if you have, please give us that idea. Not like other things. The pathways another, we'll come to that separately.
Okay, sir. Sir, please pass on this.
Pass on? Why? You should say something. Why to pass on? Okay, Aryabhattaji. Aryabhattaji.
So first thing is creation of master plan. So based on the traffic and expected traffic, and it should have actually extended area up to 100 kilometers.
Okay. So what I'm saying is now we should not repeat what earlier I said, but your 100 kilometer, I will take it. That's a very specific 100 kilometer extension.
Yeah.
100 kilometer area. This is what is important. Then, Anurag Agrawal, you're there or not?
Yes, sir.
But you have not been there in the beginning, so we did not include you. So, Kaushik ji.
Sir, identifying important locations around the locality where the metro station should be put, and the communication to that network, accessibility to that metro station, so that people can easily access those metro stations.
I didn't get you. Please, can you be, what can I put in the box?
Identifying important locations where metro stations should be built.
So that, do you think that it is not covered, like for example, appropriate land use around the metro nodes? And,
Then accessibility to those metro stations.
Accessibility means parking facility or bus facility to metro stations and any other communication facility to metro stations?
Yes, sir. Everything included. How people can reach the metro station easily, whether bus transport is there, whether the roads are connected well or not, whether there is parking facilities, all are included in this.
Okay.
so what you can imagine is, so this is what is being done now. You have developed a first level idea, then you have started working on that first level idea by the group, entire group, where the idea giver was keeping a mum and others were speaking for his idea to be developed further. Okay, so this is expanding now. Now we go to the what Diptanshu Bhattji has suggested, important places to be included in the network. Okay, so now we'll start with Rajesh Kumar Dale. How you feel that you can develop this idea?
By this idea, I mean that the area identification can be done through a government database, the database which is available from the side of government, which we can retrieve from the repository, means government land department, land and revenue department.
Is that you wanted to say? Prioritization of important places
from
through government records.
Government records.
This is what you wanted to say.
Government records and other and something we can incorporate from the NSSO, means and it is also a part of government record.
What is that?
No, it's all.
Naveen Sharma ji.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think we can alternate the stoppage say if there is a route, we have 5 to 6 trains connecting.
Your voice is coming very low. Please come closer to the.
Yes, yes. So now it is audible?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. So I am suggesting, sir, that we can have some alternate arrangement of stoppage. Say if we have a route which is having 5 to 6 trains and we have such 5 to 6 stoppages with lesser ridership, which may be excluded to the superfast network. So we may allocate alternate trains or one train with one such stoppage. So at least for the lesser ridership station would get at least one superfast train, and the network will also not get slower.
Correct. Very well. Very well. Okay. Understood. I have tried to put in the words alternate arrangement for stoppage for different trains.
Yeah, yes.
So now, Kameshwari, again on important places to be included in the network. Okay. On that, you have to say.
Yes, sir. Identifying where the majority of the population is residing and where the metro stations are not there. So
We
with
crossed
that we could
the metro station now. We are now on. This idea was given where there is a historically important place, Nadiyar, which is not connected to the rail network because most of the trains do not stop. So he identified one problem from an example, and he wanted that if important places, historical or otherwise important places, to be included in the network of the trains.
yes, sir.
So he wanted uh, trains to stop, but if it starts stopping every places, we will have the slowest network. So how do we say that we still include the important places into the network? So two people have given idea expansion is one is prioritization of the important places, very good, and second one was saying like the we second suggestion was saying alternator. Say for one train will stop there, one train will not stop. Okay. Still it is
Yes.
getting connected, but not necessarily that all trains will stop. Suppose there are 5 junctions, such junctions. So some trains will stop at 3, some stations, some will stop at other 2. So that way we can arrange. So on this particular thing, you have to say something. Metro we have crossed, so nothing on the metro now.
Based on the analysis pattern, various people where they are getting down and where they are majority of the people are coming. So identifying that stations and giving the stoppage to the particular network, that is one suitable way.
हाँ सही है उसके इसके दोनों क्वालिफाई तो है कितने देर खाने में आज ही लिया तुमने
That is also important. Okay.
बाथरूम में लगे लैट्रिन बाथरूम ठीक है
I'm just trying to put all what we are saying into a better word format so that we can read it.
मतलब अगर बच्चा भी जब भी पाएगा
Then comes
एटलीस्ट 6 महीने तो देखो क्योंकि मान लो बच्चे जैसे लगी टाइप भी तुम मान लो कानपुर एक बार जाता हूँ वो भी सही डिसीजन नहीं है और क्या पता हाथ कर दिया
I think somebody is speaking otherwise also those who are unmute they will have to follow the discipline that they don't speak otherwise it's getting disturbed.
हाँ मतलब अभी वहीं पे काम करो क्योंकि कहीं भी है ना थोड़ा सेट होने में टाइम तो लगेगा जल्दबाजी करोगे तो फिर दिक्कत रह रही है
Sir, I can't identify who is unmute because all the
There are few people like Shailendra
त्यांचा
Pandey.
सब्जेक्ट आहे ना आता सेकंड लेवल बारकोड
Yeah.
उसका चिंदी फिर
नाही व्यवस्थित लाईट पीपीटी बनवायचे होतो.
From where was getting noise?
Can you mute all these people, or can you remove these people, those who are disturbing the?
Educational Institute
Sir,
for
everybody is mute only. It is
Technical
showing
Excellence,
somehow noise is coming.
Technological
Trying to fix it.
Excellence for the मग काही फक्त मेन त्याच्यामध्ये काय आहे टेक्नॉलॉजिकल एक्सलन्स थ्रू सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट एवढंच लक्षात ठेवायचं ना बाकी फॉर एज्युकेशन हे काय फक्त मेन वर्ड लक्षात ठेवायचं ना टेक्नॉलॉजिकल एक्सलन्स थ्रू सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट बाकी काय गरज आहे त्याचं आलं विजन आलं व्हॅल्यू बेस्ड एज्युकेशन व्हॅल्यू बेस्ड अँड डिमांड ड्रिव्हन एज्युकेशन दुसरं वाला काय ते प्रमोटिंग रिसर्च अँड इनोव्हेशन तिसरं काय रिसर्च इनोव्हेशन तिसरं काय कमिटमेंट टुवर्ड द सस्टेनेबल सोल्युशन्स हे मिशन आहे आपलं आणि डिपार्टमेंटचं प्रोफेशनल ऑटोमोबाईल इंजिनियर फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट पहिल्या टेक्निकल एज्युकेशनल दुसऱ्याचं प्रोफेशनल ऑटोमोबाईल इंजिनियर फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेव्हलपमेंट मिशन काय
From where are you getting this thing?
काय
Aryabrataji, can we remove this Sanjay Patil and Divya?
ते कंटिन्यू वगैरे नको लावायला मी पण नाही लावलं कशा विनाकारण डुप्लिकेट केलंच नाही नाही तसं माहिती ना तुम्ही लिहिलं ना सगळं त्याला फेकच वाटतंय ते नंबर नाही लिहिलं ना ते फेक वाटतंय कोरी पेरेंट आणि तुम्ही केलं असेल एका वर्षाचं केलं पण तेच वाटायला लागलं आपण
Mute Divya and Sanjay Patil.
Yes, sir, I'm doing it.
You can simply remove them.
Now it is fine.
Now it is fine. Okay. What happened? I don't know. Okay. So get back to our work. Okay. So we had it from Kameshwari. Aryabrataji, you were something.
Yeah,
Aryabrataji.
Because dynamically this some places will be what you can say popular, some places will be unpopular. We will change the priority of copying this. Yeah, periodic review.
Yeah, periodic review you want to say, na? So that we can include or we can remove or we can continue.
Yeah, right? Some places based on some festival, some things can be done, something.
So now, Kaushik ji.
So my idea would be allocating specialized trains from metro cities to important places.
Specialized?
Specialized trains from metro cities.
I didn't get you.
Specialized trains to these important places from big cities.
But that is not going to solve this problem. This problem is not that how to reach there. The problem is it is not included on the network, and we want to get it on the network. Because that is a specialized train means it's very difficult. It will have some, again, some places it will not be possible. So can you more elaborate or can you more be more specific?
The place is connected by a rail line, but trains are not stopping. So that is the problem.
Yeah.
I was solving that problem.
Yes.
Sir, I'm not getting any idea right now. So can we please go to the next topic?
Okay. Actually, you should not allow people not to give the idea, but since the time is limited with us, we cannot wait for ever. So that's what we'll stop. We'll go to the next idea. But at the same time, if you get in between, please let us know. We will write still. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now the third one, which is given by Naveen Sharma ji. So Naveen Sharma ji will not speak. I will start with Rajesh Kumar Dalai. So Naveen Sharma ji has said rapid transient transport between larger urban centers and satellite towns. मतलब अगर दिल्ली है तो गुड़गांव और हरियाणा में से गुड़गांव, फिर यूपी में से कई जगह से मोदी नगर से, सो छोटे मोटे जगह से रैपिड ट्रेन ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जाए ये सैटेलाइट के लिए, और ट्रांजिएंट ट्रांसपोर्ट हो ये बहुत वीक एंड ट्रांजिएंट हो. तो इसके ऊपर हमें आइडिया डेवलप करनी है. Okay, we have 4 more to go. We will have to be quicker so that we can understand. What I'm trying to explain is you take any of the idea and try to explain with the people from the different disciplines. They can come with certain kind of suggestions, certain kind of their own ways of looking at it. It may be not obvious to the expert sometimes, but may be very important. Okay. Sometimes it may come, some good suggestions can come from only layman's. This idea was given by Naveen Sharma ji. So I'll start with Rajesh Kumar Dalai. Please take your call on this.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please.
Audible, sir?
Yeah, very well.
Sir, my view is we will, as far as rapid transport, transport is concerned, we will, my idea is we will collaborate with technical institutions like IITs and ITs, particularly the IT systems they will develop, and they will collaborate with ISRO and for IT navigation, means the satellite navigation, and satellite navigation which will be used for transport, making the transport so much efficient. So my point is collaboration with technical institutions.
So, or should I put it, consortium of technical institution for better navigation system.
Better navigation system.
I'm saying consortia, so that more than one institute can participate.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Sure.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Technical consortium of technical institutes.
Why only technical? Okay, fine. You want to technical. Okay, so your choice. So we'll say technical. Now, it's now Diptanshu Bhatt. Diptanshu Bhatt ji. Diptanshu Bhatt.
Kaushik, please unmute him.
Hello, mute. Hello. Thank you, sir.
You can also unmute yourself because you are that.
Yes. Okay. Fine, sir. Sir, on this point, sir, what is my idea is, as we are talking about this rapid transportation, is that we have to first, as when this idea is given, sir, about an especially when we are talking about the urban transportation and urban issues and satellite towns, right, sir? Then, see, I'm totally disagree that, see, only that the focus should not be there only. See, there are rest of the towns and cities are there in India where the rush is there, and yet uh, when we are talking about Delhi, Mumbai, all these cities, okay, that should be connected with these satellite towns as satellite towns. Then we should also include Ahmedabad, Vadodara, all these.
Yeah, that is very well. That is very well taken point. When we say
To categorize
what is happening is, Bhaji, what is happening is we were taking the examples of Delhi and Mumbai while speaking. But it is for Nagpur also, it is for the Jaipur also, it is for the Ahmedabad also, it is for the it is for also for the other places like Bangalore and Hyderabad will be still better, bigger places. Say okay. So all these places, they are the larger urban centers. Okay, larger in terms of they are not the largest one like Delhi, very big.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm telling. Because see, Ahmedabad is, if we talk about the air quality index of the Ahmedabad, is toxic than the in comparison with Delhi, sir.
So what you want is the point is very clear. And we are also saying that it is for all those larger urban. Larger is a relative term. Okay. Larger is, in that area it is larger. And in that small towns has to be connected. So all satellite towns has to be connected. So
Connected, right?
Okay. Now you tell me what is your which I should write in this particular box.
That Cesar, the private institutions and their advice should be taken, and information technology, IT sector should be included in this to have a good system development for this. So IT should be included to have a good infrastructure about this for this development of these satellite towns.
Again, I am not sure what you are trying to say because that point, that navigation
for IT sector and IT companies, private IT companies should be included in the development of these satellite towns and this rapid urbanization which is taking place. Right, sir?
How IT companies are going to help?
They will going to give ideas, okay, that how you can cultivate and how you can modify these satellite towns and how you can manage all these things, how you can manage your problems.
So, if at all I would try to read your mind, if I'm correctly reading, can I put it this? There should be IT-based modeling systems created for effective rapid transport design. Is I trying to say that?
Yes, sir.
Because what IT people will help? IT people will help to model the things, to make some methods like AI, ML into the system so that you actually select that rapid transit system design can be modified. So I'll say IT based.
See, sir, the traffic signal, okay, then the bypass, underpass, okay, and see the minutes which are given, okay, that should be increased for the traffic signal. All this system should be developed in these bigger cities, right, with the help of IT system.
Monitoring system, controlling system, that will come here.
Yes.
Okay. This idea was given by Navin Sharmaji, so Navin Sharmaji will not speak. Jada Kameshwari, on this particular idea. It's difficult, it's difficult to speak on every idea, but you will have to.
Yes, sir. We need to consider about the demographic factors and the socio-economic conditions, as well as what is the security levels to develop the city. Socio-economic conditions of that population, particular area.
Why it is important for rapid transit larger urban socio-economic condition? I don't think it will improve by having this rapid transit transport. But why it's important in designing? You can safety, I can say. Safety, I can consider.
Safety and yes, security items. Security we need to plan.
Safety and security, okay.
Safety and security concerns we have to plan, and it requires a huge capital also.
It's required.
Huge capital to develop such cities and such transport system.
That is okay. That we will see. We are not the people who are going to fund it, so we are not worried about the capital. Let people fund it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now, Aryabrataji.
To make it sustainable, so can you think of something decentralizing the some facility of center kind of urban center to satellite center, satellite town? Decentralizing facility from urban center to satellite system. But it requires more communication, but it will decongest the things.
Okay, you want to say you don't need rapid transport system.
No, we require transport system, but it will not go to always center.
Okay.
For everywhere, we need to go to Delhi. So Delhi is the capital, but if we can actually some facility can be put in Bangalore, some facility can be in Kolkata, some facility in Mumbai, then people will divert.
Say for example, passport is now can be applied in the post offices.
Yes, decentralizing the facility.
Post offices everywhere. So for applying passport, you don't need to go to the town or city where the passport office is. Okay.
So what policy to? So my thing is policy to decentralize the facility.
Yeah, understood. Decentralized. That's what I said. No? Passport facility is decentralized. It is with every post office possibly now. So you don't need to go beyond 5 kilometers for applying passport.
But decentralized policy to decentralize facility. So policy is better.
Policy. Okay, you want to say policy.
Policy. So, okay. So one very good example I am giving you. So, but and those who are staying in metro, so they get higher HRI. So discourage, so give less HRI so that they will move towards villages.
Okay. Financial methods to.
Financial methods, some policy, some kind of.
Right. So now Kaushik ji.
Sir, I would, when we talked about all these points, we basically put focus on these metro cities, how people can be transported from one place to another. But in general, railway system, not only people get transported, but also goods and services are also being transported in railway network. So while talking about rapid transport, we should also think about those minefields and all where things are built and places where like border connectivity, all those needs to be arranged. Like so that army can transport their equipments very fast, and we can also send goods and all those things.
Yeah. So arrangement for goods transport. or something more you want to say here?
Yeah, raw materials and good transport, because most of the industries are not placed where the raw materials are produced. The raw materials needs to be transported to the industry so that they can produce the materials.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So this is now got developed. This third point also got developed. We have a few more points to go ahead. So we will go slightly quicker. We don't need much of explanation why you are saying what idea is, but just specific idea so that I can write into the box. Okay, I'm just completing this part of it. Nice. Okay, now separate pathways for vehicle based on destinations. This was given by Kameshwari. So she will not speak on this now. Now we will start with Rajesh Kumar Dale again. It's always the opening batsman.
Sir, I didn't understand this. Can Kameshwari ma'am please explain this? What is
Okay,
this?
so may I request Kameshwari to explain this better so that people can suggest their ideas and their views on this?
Sure, sir. It is generally we are not getting a separate pathways like on or inner ring roads. How we are based on the speed, whatever the speed we are using, 40 kilometers per hour, 60 per hour. Like that, how we are utilizing the roads. The similar way based on the destination. For example, from Hyderabad to if I wanted to move Delhi. So for that separate pathway should need to be there, and based on the speed they can go directly instead of waiting or instead of interconnectivity or else trains should they need to stop for a longer period and they need to wait for 2 hours. Then they have to board in another train or another bus or any other stuff. Instead of that, if they have a fast rail system, smart rail system, so that they can go on with that.
Can I add
Hello.
what I understood is, suppose you are taking the example of a ring road. Okay. Ring road is something which is moving around the city so that you don't need to enter into city, and it has got a multiple in entry and exit points where from you can entry and exit. That's a one example. Second example could be there are kind of expressways created nowadays. These expressways are having multiple entries and exit, but they are long ways, and generally these entry and exit are managed in such a way that the vehicles can come and align with the traffic, and when they want to exit, they can typically take a particular lane and exit at when the exit comes. Okay. So this actually keeps traffic moving. Even though entry and exits are added, it is not creating any chaos. Okay. So are you saying such things? And this could also have some different mechanisms of how to control the traffic and other things. So are you saying same thing or something different?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we have a clarity on what she wanted to say. Separate pathways, and basically separate pathways based on the destinations. It could be on the vehicles also, but it could be on the if you want to enter into a particular pathway, which is going from one entry point to exit is also defined. So it does not cross lanes. It does not cross lanes all the time. It does not create right turns, left turns, so that mostly left turns. No right turns are created, so that it does not stop the traffic. So such kind of things are expected here. So can we start now?
Yes, sir. Sir, as I can see, this point, separate pathways for vehicles based on destination. It is already exist in most of the prominent metro cities, I guess, and I have seen this kind of system in Bhubaneswar itself. But the matter which lacks, it's all about the awareness. People people have the ability have the habit of plying their vehicles over the cycle paths. So I guess this is not a particular problem, but what it needs the awareness. Yes, people should, yes, sir.
Right?
Yes. Correct.
That's what you wanted to say.
Yes, sir.
This is one. Now, Diptanshu Bhatt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, what is the problem is that if you see that loading trucks are moving from the express highway, they are moving in one line. Okay, there are no overtakes and such things are taking place. But those cars and all these things are running very fast, and this problem of overtaking, I should say, this see, we are not overtaking, but see, we are racing the cars on this express highway. Okay, that is the biggest problem of this pathway in India. Okay, and see whether I think that a literate people is there or illiterate people is there. Okay, whether we talk about, say, this is a problem or the psychology, right? But this is the biggest problem that we are facing in India, and that's why, see, it is a very good idea, but to put in practice, it requires a general awareness among the people.
That already has been said. And we have
See, understanding, okay, is the most important thing. And buzzering of, see, although we are on the highway, we are making the noise, okay, we are buzzering the horns and all these things. Okay, so that is not the good thing, and that is not allowed in the foreign system. If you are buzzering the
okay, this is not a social forum.
So
we want to give a speech. We want a specific idea on a separate pathways of the vehicles based on destination. So this idea has been discussed. In which
so that, see, yes, then in one line, I should say that if one want to run on, say, 40 kilometers per hour, okay, there should be a separate road. 60 kilometers per hour, there should be a separate road. 80 kilometers per hour, there should be a separate road, and no one should be allowed more than 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, that is the solution. That accidents will not take place.
speed-wise separations, you said.
Yes, foreign systems will be implemented.
There will be anyhow. This will be the subset of this.
Yes.
Separate pathways and separate speed also.
Yes, sir.
Separate pathways for the destination, separate speed also in that case.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this is now Navin Sharma ji.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, my suggestion is, as you have mentioned, that we may have some expressways between the larger cities to like cut off the smaller traffic ingress in the main road. So in the continuation, if we have longer highways which has to be maintained at the larger speed, we may identify the nodes which are making it slower. We may have some cities in between smaller towns which are servicing the larger town, and which is having some slow moving traffic. So we can have some slow moving some separate roads for these type of transits. For an example, we are staying in Jaipur, and towards the city talk, we have a Banas river from which the river sand is coming to the Jaipur. So almost 6 to 7 hour traffic is slower because the trucks are carrying construction sand to the city. So there could be a suggestion that in addition to the expressway, total expressway, we can have some smaller separate ways for the slow traffic, so that eventually the transit speed can be maintained. So slower moving lanes can be my suggestion for specific slower moving lanes.
Is that what you are saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we had 1, 2, which was Kamechuri has given, so Sharma has said. Ariprataji, on this?
How to commercialize this separate pathways. So one thing is creation, second thing is how to commercialize it. So particularly how to use it properly with taxing or what you can say,
incentives.
How to taxing the things and how to commercialize it.
Tax and incentives.
Yeah, incentive. So first thing is creation and then commercialize.
Okay. So this is also taken care. Kaushik,
Sir, I don't have anything new to add to it, but I would like to add this point. This separate pathway for vehicles based on destinations. I would like to link it with rapid transient transport between larger urban cities and satellite. This is also a separate path only. Like we develop ring roads and all, then we board down at certain points and take the smaller routes. The same way, the rapid transport, I would like to link this point to rapid transport and also to the high-speed rails from center. All these 3 points, I see this at, we can include it in a one box. High-speed rail centers from India to all.
Yeah, I got your idea. We will come to that point once we finish another 2. Okay. So this is what is first. We started with a problem, then the first level of solution, then the second level of solution implementation. Then we'll talk about how to have a cross linking between these solutions, which will have the inter effect on each other. So dependency of this on others also. For certain things, you will need few more things here and there. So although it's very limited thing which we are talking, it should be at least 50 people who are participating, and this could run for 2 or 3 days seriously on some topic. But then this is what it can be. So let's quickly finish up breaks 2, and then we can move to the interlinking of this, which would be very quick of interlinking. Okay. So now high-speed rail from center of India to other direction. This is Aryabrataji has said, so he will not speak now. We will start with opening batsman Rajesh Kumar Dalai.
Yes, sir.
Please.
As far as high-speed rail from center center of India to all directions, it will. My view is it will require a huge investment over building tracks and the tracks to be developed or to be constructed in various or even in untouched sectors, untouched locations. We need investment in building the tracks first.
So you want to say budgets, which is important?
Yes, budget.
Budgeting is important.
Yes, budgeting is important.
Right, correct. Okay. So for you, if budget is given, you will solve this problem, right? So,
yeah.
So I am going to recommend this to Niti Aayog, that called Rajesh Kumar Dalaiji, give the budget, and he will solve Haribarta's idea.
Yes.
Okay. So that we will do. Now,
surely, maybe recommended.
Yes, of course. Ritanshu Bharji.
Yes, sir. These are not high-speed trains from center to all the directions. See, there should be a category, and that should be categorized, and it should be linked accordingly. Okay, that semi high speed or full high speed or say local train. Okay, and in that direction they should think accordingly. Okay, and it should be linked accordingly.
Didn't get you much, but what I understood is you want different categories of this high speed.
Yes. Different categories of high speed, not only high speed from center.
So one major part is on same pathway or different path.
maybe on the same pathway but different categories. Why should we have slow? That I didn't understand, but yes, let me take that point as one of the point. Okay. Then Naveen Sharma ji.
Yes, sir. Sir, regarding this idea, I propose to have not a single node as stated as asked. We have all routes from center. We may have 3 or 4 major nodes where we may have these direct trains or high speed trains. So, like the concept of Duranto, we may have the this fast track to be divided into 2 trains. So there could be 3 to 4 changeover nodes from where we can radiate these routes.
Okay, what is your point? I included it already. So you are saying instead of just one, we probably can have more than one centers.
Yes.
Okay, that is fine.
Yeah, can you put 5 nodes and interconnect them very nicely?
Yeah, that is what he is saying.
So 3-4 major nodes instead of 3-4, make it 6 major nodes and interconnect them very nicely. That will also solve our problem.
Yeah, let's say 5. Say 5 major nodes instead of this. Okay. Now, since Naveen Sharma ji has spoken, Rameshwari, you want to say something on this?
Sorry, sir, I couldn't.
You could have. Okay. Kaushik ji?
Sir, installation of proper safety measures around these fast railway lines. If there are high-speed railway lines, we need to make sure that these are properly fenced. These railway lines needs to be crossed by over bridges, then foot over bridges. All those things needs to be added so that these trains can pass freely.
Safety and fence.
Safety, yes.
Safety and fence. Don't know. Because whenever you are saying high speed, it need to be fenced.
Yeah. Security, safety, and fence. Security, fence. Safety work, or is it safety? Right. So safety fence is what you are saying is important when you are talking about the high rail speed. So we have covered last point which you need to cover, which Kaushik ji has given smart ticketing system. Okay. So now he will not speak one by one. We will start giving our ideas. So Rajesh Dalai ji. Rajesh Dalai ji.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
For the last one, smart ticketing system.
Smart ticketing system, yes.
We have also the ticketing pre means the online ticketing system with us for last 20 to 25 years. I think it's 20 years, I guess. And
but what his problem is actually, so if you want to go to multiple destinations, then it don't do in a well manner.
Yes, but as far as ticketing system is concerned, I can suggest one idea that we have seen in the metro stations, a swiping card system. If we can avail that system in if we are able to avail this system in every ticketing means every train stations, then we may be able to get rid of from unwanted ticket verification, and we may debar from intruders who are traveling without ticket. This is a probable solution. So ticketing.
Ticketing. It's not ticketing. Ticketing. They don't actually. Basically, ticketing systems are those which are there where you swipe the cards.
Yeah.
Okay. smart single card ticket and its ticketing system, so that you are through with without any hurdles, and even the misuse can be stopped.
Yes, just similar to the metro cities, the metro train, how the smart cards are operating in metro rails.
So,
This is my idea.
Shubhaji?
Yes, sir. As a see, we have to take physical tickets right from the windows, and as sir has said earlier, that we can even have this system for so many years for smart ticket. So I want to add one more thing, that as we have ATM, and because of, see, as in rush hours, okay, so we can even take a ticket from the window, and there should be something established on each and every railway station, that a person can take a ticket, okay, even take a ticket, and some machines should be installed on the railway station, okay, that can uh, uh, he or she can withdraw ticket from that machine, get the ticket from the machine even, okay, that will reduce the pressure from the window. So machines should be installed.
Hundreds of ticket vending machines.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Ticket vending machines could be one of the solution for smart ticketing.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Then Navin Sharma ji?
Yes, sir. Sir, I think we must develop an integrated GPS system on all public transport to achieve the fastest route, which would be multimodal. Maybe we can use two different modes to reach a place. So this will help in generating the smart tickets or reserve our tickets to reach somewhere which directly not connected to a single mode, but we can change the mode and reach there.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You want to have integrated GPS system, so that you don't need to select which route which train I should take. Ticket should automatically deliver between your origin and destination. As Google is suggesting as on today, the fastest route. So the fastest route ticket should be delivered to you. They should offer you that whether you want to take this ticket. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, Kameshwari, you have anything to say on this? Kameshwari?
Sir, she have mentioned in the chat box that currently she is busy with one of his in her office. That's why she can't able to interact.
Aryavartaji?
So my suggestions will be based on source to destinations. Whatever the in GPS, not GPS, but based on source to destinations, smartly giving the route through which it can go.
So that's already said, no?
That's
already said.
And then we can go for other thing, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, the smart ticketing means you should be able to also, I can help over here. You can also, like what I've seen in Japan. Suppose I am traveling from here to Agra, and while reaching to Agra, I decide not to get down at the Agra, but continue my journey to Delhi.
Yeah.
Then I should be able to buy that ticket on the train itself. I should not be getting down. I should get the availability. I should buy the ticket. It is possible today, but what happens is, like in Japan, what happens is you can travel up to Delhi, no problem. And in Delhi, before going out from the railway station, you adjust that ticket and pay whatever the extra is, and still it is done. You are not without ticket.
So
dynamic destination change
and manipulations.
Okay. This is what smart ticket can do. So we have covered all of them, and now just give me a second. Okay, so what we have done is, now I'm going into the presentation mode. What we have done is, we have selected one topic, which is smart road and rail network for the country. And then we started developing most of the things around it with 5 volunteers with us, 6 volunteers with us. So 6 volunteers had generated so much of a data with just 1 hour. So much of the ideas just within 1 hour. Say for example, when Rajesh Kumar Dalaiji has suggested public metro network, I don't think he had an idea of 100-kilometer area cover. He might have some idea, but not 100 kilometer. He might be thinking of 20-30 kilometers because he was talking about.
My place is around 500 kilometers. I wanted to put 500, but I restricted to 100.
Yeah, so this idea might not be in his mind. So he has got a new idea. Similarly, when the high-speed rail net from the center of India to all directions was suggested, Sahuji was focusing on one center. Yeah. Whereas he immediately admitted that the 5 major nodes would be a better idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is something which is giving you some different directions to your thinking by different people. Okay. So this is just an example I have given. You can replace this box at the center by any idea, any problem, any technical problem of yours, and then expand those ideas everywhere. I'll give just one more example, which is coming from your digital payment. India is now the highest digital payment making country in the world, even better than USA. Okay. Now, how it has happened? You listen to one of the politicians' lecture in the parliament, which was opposing the idea of digital payment. And this lecture is wonderful lecture, which is giving all directions for all research and development to be carried out in this particular area. Because he was saying, do you expect that the vendors, which are small vendors on the street, they will have the internet, they will have the computer set up over there, they will have a connectivity, and they will to the banks and all those things. So people started thinking that if you want to implement this, the first thing is computer should go away. Okay. Digital payment has to be done and computer should go away. Now, how it is possible? It was possible through smartphones. And the vendor need not to have a computer. Vendor could have just QR code. Based on the QR code, the buyer is smarter, vendor is not. So buyer can possibly use his smartphone and make the payment. Bank linking, yes, was required, but that was made easy through UPI. So several such solutions were invented just because there were certain things which are said as a problem. So you can also say as a problem, not necessarily always the solution, but you can create those things around. So this is something which is a kind of an idea. This is kind of a method which actually gives you a lot of information, lot of areas to work in your own focus area. You can expand it by including. So what can you do is you can find a team of 6 to 10 people, 6, 8, 10 people within your group or outside the group. Also, you can invite. Please ask them to sit with you for a day, generate this kind of idea, and then of course the next level of this is cross-linking of these things. Some of them may be common, like for example safety and security. When we talked about the rapid transit transport, was same for safety fence in high-speed rail. So whenever you say high speed, the safety was here safety and security also was included, because you might require it in the night time and everywhere. So this is what. Then few cross connections can be like a dynamic destination change can always be connected with separate pathways. It's like a dynamic destination change, but also if I am traveling on a road and if I want to change my destination, I should be able to check the path. And this can happen by the same mechanism where the dynamic destination change is working or GPS route system is working. So there will be interactions, there will be interconnections between these as well. So if you look at this screen now, this is developed by you. Nothing I have done in this. I was just a typist in this particular case. I took a role of a typist in this particular case, and just to put it into proper words. So just look at the screen. Such a beautiful work plan you have developed for smart road and rail network within just given little more than 1 hour. So this is the way which is called flowering of idea. This you can use very well into your systems as well, your areas of work, and this is what is important, right? So this is what I wanted to explain today on flowering of idea. If you have any questions, I will happy to answer those questions.
Now we should invite all other participants to comment and question on it.
Yeah, also, yes. If few more ideas are there other than this, we have selected volunteers and completed it because you understood that at every point we were taking suggestions from everybody sequentially. So if you have selected many of these participants, then probably we would have not completed it in a systematic way. So to complete it in systematic way, we restricted at that point of time, but now forum is open and you can suggest anything on any aspect of it. I go again to the edit mode, but once again back to the edit mode.
Sir, some ideas are already being suggested in the chat section. Like Anu Kumari has suggested one. So if like emergency conditions happen, then internet connection is also not available. For this, we can apply for tickets to Athens. This is one idea she suggested. There is another idea that is being suggested by Shubhashri Soumya. App could be developed to solve the ticketing problem.
Anyhow, app are there. Means for ticketing system, app
Yes,
are there.
we have IRCTC app.
So many private apps are also there. Many Megmetry, all apps are there doing ticketing. So for ticketing, there is no issue. App ticketing.
Then Annu Kumari has suggested one. I think this is on this networking issue. She has suggested nearby hospital locations also should be included in railway network.
This is like she was looking at a medical facility, medical hubs. Yes, good. So you can think of like this is what actually results into such a exhaustive ideas which were not thought by a single person. See, single person will have limitations of thinking. If you include more and more people, and generally you can do this in two ways. Initially with the people from the same area of work, and then do interdisciplinary. Second time you do it interdisciplinary. You will find some deeper ideas, and in the group where the similar work people are there, similar field people are there, and wider ideas into the group which is multidisciplinary. So this is one of the methods. So whenever I want to find something, I generally call a group, and on that group, people gives definitely very good ideas. Okay. So if there are any suggestions, questions, any comments, please.
So last comment is actually, if you look at so instead of 5 major nodes, so I generally consider actually 9 nodes centering at actually Nagpur. So Delhi, Nagpur, Mumbai, Kolkata, then Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, and then Guwahati. So these are the 9 nodes I actually consider, not 5 nodes. But for posing the problem, I put Nagpur at center and put a cluster.
Yes. So now your idea started expanding. Now 9 nodes because
No.
I would say
9 nodes. Initially started with 9 nodes, but I gave 1 node.
Yeah, it would be like, let's say you had that idea, but let's say group has also understood it very well that it is more than one is required.
More than one. And another thing is, every metro should have actually 100 to 150 kilometer means expansions. Every Delhi 200 kilometer expansions, suppose Bangalore 200 kilometer expansion, then the facility, whatever the central facility will be diversified.
Good.
So in that way, it will give better connectivity. So connect through high-speed rail to all bigger places, and every metro should have actually 200 kilometer or more than 100 kilometer local metro connectivity. Then that will create major impact.
Right. Sure. Sure. So, if there are no questions or no comments further, can we conclude?
Hello.
Yeah, someone is.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Deeptanshu here.
Yeah.
Sir, as we are talking about connectivity, right, and facilities, these are from Nadia to Anand.
Yeah.
There are no connectivity issues are there. Okay, there are 3 roads which are connecting Nadia and Anand. Okay? So to get the road wider, they are cutting down 500 trees. Okay, in say 20-kilometer areas, and those 400 trees, out of those 400 trees, at least say 75 trees are said, more than 100 years old trees are there. Okay, so that is at the cost of say environment, which we are doing the development. That is one of the biggest problem that we are facing today, sir.
Yeah, that you are facing. But one another reason, if you look at wherever road have gone inside, so that area is more developed. So if you look at Delhi, Mumbai, that roads are very good. Connectivity is very good. If you go to any rural area where road are not there because of not good road are there, so that area is undeveloped. So we want to make the road goes to the inner rural area also, so that everything will be decentralized. So if you are getting facility at what I can say village, you will not go to city. So that is natural.
Yeah.
So if someone is getting facility at rural, so they will not go to one city. So everyone
Sir, already road is already there, sir.
And Bhaji, this is very common everywhere. Okay, development. Whenever the development is occurring, there will be always some harm to the environment. It is not avoided, but you have to take care of by putting an environment management plan. And what happens in most of the time, just diversification of the subject for a time being. Many a times, very good projects are killed and all environment benefit is lost because of a wrong perception of cutting tree. Because cutting tree does not actually harm environment in such a great way if the environment management plan is there. Otherwise, let's say, for example, if you don't build a road, this will be created a lot of chaos. You already said Ahmedabad air quality is very bad. Okay. And then in that case, what will happen is you will not have those roads built up because you don't want to cut the tree. So this is sometimes environmental activists are actually killing the environment, not protecting the environment. They don't understand anything technical and they are not ready to listen to technical people. That is the problem in the country. So they should listen to the technical people. They should understand the technical data. They should interact with them, and technical people and policymakers are ready to interact, but the activists are not. And activists can only continue their presence just because making the noise. They don't want solutions basically. If they would have wanting the solutions, they would have worked on the solution. So to my opinion, cutting tree somewhere does not actually mean that it is generally going to harm the environment. It has to be evaluated whether it is really, it may or it may not. Okay, because it may otherwise improve. If you want to improve the Ahmedabad's air quality, a lot of measures has to be taken. And while taking so, there might be some, not only the cutting the trees, but some other measures will also have to be taken care of. And in that case, anything you do, there will be slight loss of environment. And that loss of environment has to be taken care by compensation through environment management plan, and that's to happen. Otherwise, environmentalists only will make noise and they don't contribute into the development.
Right, sir.
And not even the protection of the environment also.
Right, right. Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, Sauji, can we close further today?
Yeah, maybe if there is no questions from participant, then you can close. So, participant, you can raise your hand if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will close the sessions.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Sir, can we, as far as you told that metro connectivity ideally work in a span of 500 kilometers, can we functionalize tram network?
Now, tram network is very still slow and it's very, very old. So that may not be the good idea.
But upgraded version of metro in terms of 100 as anyone suggested that 150 kilometers, 200 kilometers radius within this span.
So look at the Delhi. So Delhi Metro. So if you look at Delhi Metro is expanding like anything. So they are almost it was initially around 50 kilometers. Now they are extending to Noida, Gurgaon, all nearby places, and it is going above 150 kilometers. So we need to means if you expand early, then development will go to the remote places very quickly, and center place will not be congested.
Yes. All we need to do
so decentralized will happen very quickly.
Yes.
Decentralizations will happen very quickly. You need to plan early.
Means all we need to establish a system, means just to establish a system, then it will automatically expand its location.
Suppose in Bhubaneswar, you take Bhubaneswar, and what are the nearby places which is around 100 kilometers, you expand the metro to all site 100 kilometers. Then that all area will develop simultaneously, and one place will not be congested.
Yes.
You got my point?
Yeah, I got it. There is a prominent location nearby Bhubaneswar, means it may be surpassed to
100 kilometers.
Yeah.
100 kilometer radius and develop the metro to all the places.
Yeah. That may be
developed, and Bhubaneswar will not be congested.
Yes.
And industry-wise, it will be benefited. People will also go work, come to Bhubaneswar, and they will go to Bhubaneswar. People also go to the remote area very quickly. So all things will get benefited.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So one of the very important takeaway message from this session is, yes, we got grossly involved into developing this particular idea, but this is not the message which I want to give. The message I want to give is one of the method in the research methodology, which is very effective tool to expand your ideas in your own areas. It could be research area, it could be some management problem solving area, it could be like there were suggestions of a climate change, the loss of biodiversity because of the climate change. There was something like ethical consumption, which was there. So then there was some other people who were suggesting something for the marketing should be done. So if you want to market a product, if you want to develop a product, if you want to resolve an issue, this thing can be a center of your discussion, and you can systematically follow this tool to generate. And if you follow this systematically, within 1 or 2 rounds, you will be able to get good ideas, good ways forwards to take your issues solving further. So this is the takeaway message which I want to give under this research methodology work.
Particularly how to flowering the ideas from different people's group discussions and taking suggestions from people's.
And a very systematic way.
Yes, sir.
So
Basically, identifying the problems,
yeah.
the issues, and then trying to find a solution together and getting more ideas from different peoples.
So RFRF is going to conduct similar such, not workshop, but similar such flowering of idea session in person for a day or two on one idea, so that we can actually generate certain project proposals, because we want to solve some bigger issues, and where the project proposal should also be taking care of every aspect of that particular issue or that particular problem. So we will invite few people on such occasions, and we will generate. And this will be like everybody's baby. This is a teamwork. It's a team project proposal will do.
Okay, so if there is no questions and this thing, then we can close. So thank you, Rajesh Baisarji. So thank you for really wonderful interactive sessions. And I suggested some topic and you took, and it was a very, very nice discussion, got a lot of ideas. Even participants also interacted very nicely, all the list. So thank you all. Thank you all the participants also. And tomorrow we'll meet again. So today sessions officially were closing. So tomorrow, so we'll have a session with Dr. Amit Bansiwal. So he will discuss about instrumentation and sophisticated instrumentation for environmental and many things. So it will be also good talk how to use a sophisticated instrument and good instrument, how to produce good result using that, how to solve problem. And tomorrow we'll meet at 10 a.m. exactly. So today we are closing. So thank you again, Rajeshji. So for wonderful things, wonderful discussions and talk.
And thank you for those participants and volunteers who has helped us to conduct this session. Because unless you would have been there, this session could have not been completed. It is not one-way traffic. It is multi-directional. So
I have saved the slides. So I have saved the slides, that particular slides.
Right.
Print
Thank you
again.
very much.
I will slides one more time.
Share with your PowerPoint one also, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So thank you. We can close the sessions.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aryabhatta Sahu sir, and thank you, Rajesh Biniwal sir. So, sir, I'll be ending the session from my end.
So you can end. So thanks.
Thank you all the participants for joining today. We'll meet again tomorrow at 10 a.m.